Hello. Hello. Make sure I'm live right now. I feel like I do this all the time, but this is how I check. Let's just go on my own channel and see what's going on. All right, cool. Yes, live. Perfect. All right. Make sure you can hear me. Looks like you can hear me. If anyone's in here, hey, Josh. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. How's it going, man? Thank you for joining me tonight. Hello, welcome everybody back to another edition of I don't know me working on my live skills, trying to talk live. It's really funny whenever I do these. Like it's almost like I'm going on stage in a play or something. Like I get that same feeling from the audience. My neighbors are really loud tonight. I hope that you don't hear that too badly. Yes, I can hear you. Perfect. All right. Hopefully you don't hear them too badly. But welcome everybody. Welcome to the stream tonight. That I just kind of was thinking. I haven't really. Hey, Luke. How's it going, Luke? Made it. Hey, thanks, man. You made it. Thanks for being here, guys. What's going on, Zach? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you, Luke. I hope you're doing well yourself this evening. Um, yeah, so I last time I checked, I think it went back down to 898, but I saw that I hit like 900 subscribers today. And I was just kind of like, I couldn't even fathom that at the beginning of this month. I guess this month because like what 3 weeks ago I was at 550-ish still, and then that Spider-Man commentary that I mean all the credit goes to Cassidy. She's the one that really is the reason you came to that video because who hasn't seen Spider-Man No Way Home? She's a very rare person to find these days. So that video just did really well, and I guess like the subscriber count just blew up. So there's a lot of new people here. So I just wanted to say welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining this community. I hope you guys enjoy and have fun. I'm your biggest fan. Aw, thanks, honey. Thanks for being here. You're right outside the door. So it means a lot that you would take your time to be here when you can hear everything I'm saying, I'm sure, through the wall. But yeah, so I just wanted to do something. I just wanted to get on, talk with you guys because it's been a little bit. I haven't done one of these since like February. Oh, Josh is saying hi to Cass. Josh is my cousin, by the way. So, anyways, yes, let's get started. Without a further ado, let's start talking about these topics that we were going to talk about today. So, the first one that I wanted to talk about that I found kind of interesting was Will Smith is losing. I'm losing my voice already. Oh my gosh, he's losing projects because something apparently happened with Will Smith in the past week. I don't know if you heard about this. It was kind of hard to find online. I had to really dig to get an understanding of why this was happening. No, everyone knows why this is happening. It was the Oscars. What was it? Not I guess not last like 2 Sundays ago. And before we get there, what's Luke saying? Luke is saying I saw more BS yesterday and it was not good. Yeah, I'm still not able to go and see that, but it doesn't sound like it's necessarily a bad thing. But that might be changing soon. I might be getting back to the theaters soon, so hang tight. There might be new movie reviews on here soon. But Schofield Studios, it looks like Will Smith's projects got slapped out of existence. Oh man, that's rough. Yeah, so going off of what he's saying, yes, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on the Oscars. It's this big. It's the biggest thing that's happening in the entertainment industry right now. Everyone's talking about it. And I was looking today. The Hollywood Reporter is reporting that now Netflix, who was developing a movie called Fast and Loose that was going to star Will Smith, they've stopped that project. They've halted development on that. And it doesn't just stop there. It appears that I believe it's Sony. I'm looking at the Hollywood Reporter right now, and it says, yes, Sony was developing a Bad Boys 4, which I like the first Bad Boys movie, not too big on the second one. I enjoyed the third one, though, so I definitely would check out a fourth one, but it looks like they have paused development on Bad Boys 4, even though Will Smith received like 40 pages of the script before the Oscars. So this is an interesting topic I think to talk about. Is I Am Legend 2 still happening? I don't know. It doesn't. Let me see here. It doesn't say. It doesn't say if it's happening or not. I would hope that it would still continue, just because that's one of the things I wanted to talk about with this story, is that they're not just like taking these projects away from Will Smith. There are thousands of people working on these movies. Um, that have jobs on these movies, that because Will Smith's actions at the Oscars, which Will Smith has not proven to be a very problematic guy in Hollywood. At least I don't think he has. I haven't really heard too much of what he's done. This is the biggest controversy, at least in my lifetime, that I can remember from Will Smith. So, look, Chris Rock's joke was not nice. It was in poor taste. And Will Smith got mad, and he's human. He has emotions, and he walked right up there and slapped him, which goes into the laws. It's assault and all that stuff. But Chris Rock had the option to file charges to arrest Will Smith, and he decided not to, and that was his choice. And so the option for Will Smith to get arrested was there, and Chris Rock was the one who decided what ultimately happened with that. So that's already done and dealt with. The Academy's working on what they're going to do. They're going to punish him in some way. It sounds like they're going to have a vote, I believe, on April 18th. But this, to me, canceling his upcoming projects. I even read in this report that Apple and where is it? And Netflix. Apple and Netflix were bidding over who got the rights to tell Will Smith's life in a biopic based off the book that he released. And now they've pulled out of bidding. They've pulled out of wanting that project. And I don't know, it just seems like overkill to me. This seems like a little bit much. I'm not saying the slap wasn't, bad. Of course it was bad. He shouldn't have done that. But I just thought, look, keep my wife's name. That is when I knew that it was real, because I didn't watch the Oscars. I don't usually watch the Oscars, just because they're movies that I either didn't catch or didn't even know about. And so I don't know. I just kind of fell off watching the Oscars. I find them not that enjoyable. I'll just read the results online. I think that's faster and better. But I went on Twitter, and that was the video that popped up as soon as I clicked on the hashtag Oscars, and it was Will Smith doing the slap. And I was so confused until I saw, I think it was the Australian version that was uncensored, and you can hear him yelling, "Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth." And it was the second time that he yelled it. The way his face went, I could tell it was legit. I could just tell, like, that guy was legit angry. And that's when it was just crazy. Elizabeth is saying, I feel like Will Smith should have done things more professionally, but at the same time, Chris Rock made a horrible joke. I agree. And it's easy in retrospect to say, like, Will Smith should have been more professional. But he's human, and he gets angry, and he unfortunately dealt with his anger in an unfortunate way that night. Although it is crazy when you think, like, Will Smith's place. He's sitting at the front of the stage, and in front of all those people, he just decides to get up, calmly walk over to Chris Rock, and he just slapped him. Like, no hesitation. And even when he walked back, his face was just like, yeah, I just slapped Chris Rock, and he just calmly went and sat back down. It's actually really crazy when you think of everything that went into that moment. But Elizabeth is also saying, I hope that what he did doesn't take his roles away from upcoming movies. Yeah, that's one of the things about this article, too, is that they're saying at this moment those projects are paused. So they haven't been scrapped. They haven't been taken away. They could potentially recast him, although it doesn't say anywhere that they're planning on doing that. But this is also just a bigger issue, I think, to me as well. I think this is one of the effects that we see from cancel culture as well. And I think it's crazy to see that, like, someone, the mega star that is Will Smith, like, Will Smith is still a pretty big name in Hollywood. He's still a really respected actor. A lot of people love him. He's a beloved figure in Hollywood, and he's not, safe from the cancellation. Like, this is cancel culture in a way. It's a little bit different because he did, commit assault on a person in front of 50 million people. And technically they were at a workplace. Chris Rock was working, so it was assault in the workplace. But yeah, I just found this really, really interesting. And I really hope that this doesn't continue. Like, I really hope that the Academy comes out with their punishment on April 18th, I believe it is. It's dealt with. Will Smith gets the due punishment, suspended or expelled, not allowed to go back to the Oscars for a couple more years. And I think that should just be the end of it. And he should still be allowed to work, I think, personally. This story just keeps going and going and going and snowballing, and it's crazy where we're at right now. But what do you guys think of this? Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of Will Smith losing his projects over this Oscar slap. And do you think it's fair? I don't know, man. All right, what have we got here? We got Schofield saying, oh, he's responding to Elizabeth. He won't be in any movies with Chris Rock anytime soon. I don't know. Oh, total sidetrack, but I saw this amazing animation on, I believe it was Twitter, and it was Chris Rock plays Marty in Madagascar, and ironically enough, Will Smith plays Oscar the fish in Shark Tale in both DreamWorks movies, and they animated Marty the zebra and Oscar the fish in the Oscar setting, and they had Oscar the fish slap Marty the zebra across the face, and I just thought, like, this is the best DreamWorks crossover ever that could ever be. And I thought it was really funny. I thought it was really clever how they did that animated GIF. Tyler Rogers, do you think it has anything to do with the rocky marriage that made him so defensive? Yeah. See, I don't know. That's the thing, is that everyone has their own things that they're struggling with in their personal lives, and I mean, the footage is there. He's laughing at the joke. Like you can't hide it. It's there. He is fully, like, not even just like a little chuckle. Like, he is belly gut laughing at the joke that Chris Rock told. Jada's not. His wife Jada is not. And yeah, I don't know. I guess that's how he decided to look like a man to her. Like, see, we don't know. We don't know what was going through his head at the moment, what he's going through at home with her. But yeah, I hope that the rocky marriage isn't why he did that. I don't know. Elizabeth, I can respect Will Smith for defending his wife. Yeah, I mean, there's defending your wife, but then there's also just like that just was like, that wasn't the place or time. I don't know. Like, I don't know. For me personally, I don't think you can justify him walking up there as a presenter is working. Like, that's the thing, is Chris Rock was at work, and he just walked up there and like assaulted him in the workplace, you know? And you can say whether or not you think that's right or wrong based on the circumstance, but it was a poorly tasted joke. It was a horrible joke. It was a really mean joke to Jada, and I'm sure it hit her personally and affected her emotionally as well. But I don't know. I just don't think you can justify that he can go up and just slap the guy. Talk to Chris Rock afterwards. Maybe even talk to the people who are running the show, saying, like, I didn't appreciate what Chris Rock kind of said. You know, like, deal with it as an adult. You don't just go up and you don't just smack someone. You know. Elizabeth, what did you think of the first season of the new iCarly? Yeah, we're going to talk about iCarly in just a little bit here. But as far as my first thoughts on the first season of the new iCarly go, they are kind of negative. I wasn't a big fan of the first season, and I'll get into that when we talk about iCarly season 2 coming out. But yeah, as far as this first season go, I watched all of it, and I wasn't a huge fan. But we'll talk more about that soon. Luke. Will Smith definitely could have handled the situation in a more mature manner instead of just slapping Chris Rock. I totally agree, man. I totally agree. But hey, you know what? Who knows what we would have done in that situation too. Schofield Studios. I heard Jada laugh too when they weren't filming. It may be fake news though, because that edit was pretty tight. Laugh too when they weren't filming. Oh, okay. So if they weren't filming, then there's no footage of it, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. When they cut to it, I saw Will Smith laughing, but Jada rolls her eyes and stuff. So I don't know. I did see footage though of her laughing after Will Smith slapped him. I saw that footage. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, guys, let's move on. Let's move on from this Will Smith talk, and let's go on to topic number 2, which Lisbeth got us to. That's a nice segue. Thank you, Lisbeth. iCarly season 2, it's coming back. It is. Oh, what? Before we go here, let's go to Elizabeth one more time. I'm not on either Will Smith's side nor Chris Rock's. What they both did was wrong. I agree, Elizabeth. I agree. It's a messy situation. All right, so iCarly season 2. iCarly is coming back for a second season for the second time. This is a side note, but I really kind of wish they would just call this iCarly season 7 or whatever. Like, it's a continuation of the show. I find it kind of weird that they just like they're going on from season 1 when it's still just called iCarly. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just how I am, but it kind of bothers me. All right, so iCarly season 2. I wanted to talk about iCarly season 2 because iCarly is like a really interesting product to me right now. So, little backstory. I love iCarly. I grew up watching iCarly almost every day. Like, I was addicted to it. It was in the same, like, it was Drake and Josh, iCarly, Zoe 101, Victorious. That was like my Nickelodeon time. And I watched iCarly all the time. And I still love iCarly. Not just in a nostalgic way. Like, I'll go back and watch it nostalgically, but I can put on an episode of iCarly. And while they're not all winners, especially the first couple seasons, they're a little bit more kiddie. When they get older, like when you get into about season 3, I think that show still holds up. I think it's fun. I think the characters are great. I think some of the jokes are still really funny. The humor is great. I always got teased in school because it was like a girls show, which I never understood because iCarly really does have everything for all genders, all ages. It's a really great put together show. What's Luke saying about iCarly? iCarly was a good show for my childhood, but I haven't seen the new first season since I don't have Paramount Plus. Yeah, you're gonna need that in order to watch it, at least legally. I had Paramount Plus. I got Paramount Plus specifically for iCarly season 1. And I will tell you, I was really excited for iCarly season 1, the new show. I was so excited to see these characters back again. Even though Sam, Jeanette McCurdy, wasn't returning, I didn't really think that was going to be a big deal. I thought it was so easy, and the show handled it really well. Like, when people, like, they're 28 years old now, and in the final episode of iCarly on Nickelodeon, they all go their separate ways. Carly goes to Italy, Sam goes to Sam and Cat, unfortunately, and Freddie still lives with his mom, I guess, at the end of that show. But when you grow up, like, you lose touch. You just lose touch, or you don't even lose touch. You just, you're not together all the time anymore. So the fact that Sam wasn't returning, I thought it was a very easy write-off. We're still friends, we still text or whatever, but I just don't see her very often. That's very easy, in my opinion. So I thought they handled that great. What's Lisbeth saying? I really liked that they grew up with the audience that watched the original, but it wasn't that mature other than a few cuss words and sexual conversations. That actually goes to my negatives with iCarly season 1. So let's get into iCarly season 1 for just a second. I didn't understand. At the end of the day, I didn't understand the point. I didn't understand the point of bringing the show back the way that they did, because they said it was going to be an adult show for the adults that grew up with it. And I understand that I am in the minority of this. I've watched so many reviews, and people are loving this show. People who grew up with it, people who are just discovering it, they love it. And that's great. I love that people are loving it. I just feel like such an alien whenever I'm in those reviews because I just don't see what they're seeing. There's a way of doing a mature show. You don't just have to cuss. You don't just have to, say sexual jokes and do sexual things. Like, you don't have to do that to be mature. My problem with iCarly season 1 is that it was mature in the way that they could say beer and booze and sex and talk about that stuff, but it felt more of a kid show than even the iCarly on Nickelodeon did at times. I just felt like the storylines and the way that the humor was displayed and acted, it just felt more kiddie to me. And I don't know if that's because I've grown up and I'm experiencing it through fresh grown-up eyes that I don't have nostalgia attached to it. But I honestly think iCarly, like, in the old days, in Nickelodeon days, had more mature jokes at times than this new mature iCarly does. And the biggest thing, too, is the whole premise of iCarly is prime for this day and age. Everyone's on YouTube. I mean, I'm on YouTube. If I can be on YouTube, anyone's on YouTube. There's so many influencers on Instagram, and Carly is now in this stage of her life where the young ones are coming up and she's the older one. She's the older generation. And she wanted to start iCarly again. Like, she wanted to be creative again. But she didn't really do anything with iCarly throughout the rest of season 1. Like, she maybe did iCarly, I think, like 3 times earlier on. But I never really felt like her doing iCarly again meant anything to her in the majority of the show. And that was frustrating to me. I wanted them to do some really updated like commentary on what does it mean to be an influencer today? What does it mean to be on the digital, online nowadays? And I was just disappointed with that. All right, I've talked for a while. Let's get some of these comments from you guys, you awesome people. Schofield Studios. Sorry. Okay, I had a speech impediment when I was younger. I couldn't say my R's. I said them like W's. So if I was gonna say river, I'd say wiver. And I went to speech therapy when I was like going into middle school because I didn't want to get bullied for it. So sometimes when I go to say an R, it comes out as a W still. So just be mindful of that. These rebooted TV shows are getting weird now. The Twilight Zone, The Prince of Bel-Air, and now iCarly. I never saw The Prince of Bel-Air reboot. I just didn't really care, if I'm being honest. Like, I like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think it's a funny show. I enjoyed it. I watched the whole thing, but I don't really repeat watch it. But I just wasn't really interested in checking out a dramatized version, especially since I didn't have the streaming service it's on. I didn't want to pay for it. Luke, my uncle has Paramount Plus, but when I used it last week when I hung out at his house, I just wanted to rewatch Jackass Forever. And you know what? To each its own. And Jackass Forever is probably funnier than iCarly. I'm just being straight up honest. I haven't seen Jackass Forever, but I don't know. My opinion. I hated that one episode where Spencer gets Freddie a date with the sex worker because it just felt cringe. That is an excellent example of what I'm talking about. That is an excellent example. That's not mature to me. Like, you don't have to do like hook Freddie up with a sex worker. Oh, the misunderstanding comedy, and then you just did a bunch of cringy kitty green screen effects around what they were doing on dates. Like, it literally it looked like something you'd see on Disney Channel nowadays, except it was with a sex worker and it was mature. But that's not mature to me. Like I wanted to see these characters. I loved when I found out that Freddie was gonna be a stepdad. I was like, that's amazing. Freddie's grown up. He's now a father. How is this character that I've literally watched from like the age of 12 growing up to be a father? How is he going to deal with that? And they didn't really do anything with it in a way that felt like real. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to feel verisimilitude with these characters. I wanted to feel reality within these characters. I wanted to see them have jobs, dealing with life. Like, I wanted to relate to them. And they just lived in this fictionalized, like, Nickelodeon Disney world still that I just didn't really relate with them. And that made me, I don't know, maybe I just went in with the expectations and I just like needed to get rid of them, which I did throughout. Like, once I accepted the show for what it was, I could judge it as it was, and I still didn't think it was very good. But the reason that I wanted to talk about season 2 is because despite everything that I've just said, I cannot wait for the show to come back. I'm a complete freaking hypocrite when it comes to this, but I saw the trailer and the same jokes were there and it didn't look much better, but it's Carly, Spencer, and Freddie. I wanted to see them again. I want to see this season. And they're talking about bringing in more guest people. They're talking about, which, like, we already saw that the Groovy Smoothie was back in the trailer. So Tebow is probably going to show up, I would imagine. I have suspicions. I have nothing to base it off of, but I imagine we might see Gibby come back this season. And while I think it would be really cool to see what Gibby's up to, I feel like the show's going to let me down with what he's up to. But yeah, man, like, despite all of this feeling for what they've done with the new iCarly, I'm still kind of looking forward to checking out season 2 when I'm going to wait till all the episodes are out, though, because this was not a show I enjoyed waiting week to week for. I just didn't feel like it was worth it by the time the episode got here. All right, let's move on. I'm getting used to this, guys. This is great though. This is a great turnout. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. All right, where's this comment go? Liz, and it felt wrong to see my childhood cuss and talk about sex. That didn't bother me as much as I thought I was going to. I'm like you. Going into the show, I was like, I don't know if I want to see like Carly waking up in a bed with a man. You know, like I don't know if I want to see Freddie and stuff going on with that. But it didn't bother me as much. And they also weren't very explicit with it, which I also liked. Like it's very tame compared to other shows for sure. But I agree with you. That was definitely one of the things where I was like, I don't know if I want to watch that. Luke, Jackass is more my style of humor, just to let you know. Hey, that's fair, man. We all have our. I love slapstick. I love like people slipping, falling, or like hitting into stuff. Like that stuff makes me laugh. But like in movies and TV shows, like in comedies, when it's happening in real life, then I just kind of like cringe and wince, and I'm like, oh, I can feel their pain, and I feel so bad for them, and yeah. So that's kind of why Jackass isn't really my thing too much. Unrelated question: do you watch South Park? If so, do you like it? So I grew up in a Christian household. I'm a Christian myself. I was not allowed to watch South Park, and it wasn't until I turned 18, I think, that I finally checked out an episode, and I wasn't a fan. I didn't really like it. I don't know, too crude for me, I guess, and just like not something I wanted to spend my time on. But you like it, and that's great, man. And a lot of people are with you there. A lot of people like South Park, and I had a friend in school who really loved it. He always said jokes from it, and some of them were funny. Lisbeth, I feel like season 2 is the real season 1 because season 1 was just introducing the characters back, and that's probably why it wasn't that great. I don't really agree with that's why it wasn't that great. I think there's a way that you could reintroduce the characters. I just think they reintroduced. Okay, the very first scene of the new iCarly is Carly walking into Spencer's apartment, turning on the lights, and Spencer's just painting naked with the apron on, so Carly sees his butt. That was the whole bit. That was how we were brought back into the world of iCarly. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. Like, there's a way you can do it. Some people enjoyed that. Majority of people, I guess, enjoyed that. I was not one of them. I think it could have been handled better. Elizabeth, but I got used to the cussing on like the 5th episode. Yeah, and they didn't cuss overly much. I didn't find like it was a fair amount of cussing for the show, for these characters from the kids show that we're bringing into this adult show. So yeah, the cussing didn't bother me as much as I thought it was going to. It was very tame. Yeah, so I ended up being fine with it by the time the season ended. I just wish it was, or like I just wish the jokes were better. I just wish I related to it more. Like we never see Carly or Freddie go to work. Do they have jobs? Do they ever establish jobs? Like, are they making money off of iCarly now? Like that's something they could have gone into. Like when they were kids, when they were doing iCarly as kids, like there was no, well, at least the show never showed, there was no monetization. There was no, well, actually, they did get sponsored by TechFoot in the beginning of season 1, but like there was really no sponsorships for them. They didn't get AdSense. So like, are they making money off of the iCarly show, or like, how do they make their money? Like, I guess Carly's an influencer on the Instagram. We saw that in the beginning of season 1, but they never really explained like Freddie's situation or anything like that. So I wish we got to see that. I wish we got to actually see them grow up because they don't feel like grown-ups to me. This is my iCarly season 1 rant, apparently. They don't feel like grown-ups to me. They feel like the same kids from the Nickelodeon days that are now just allowed to say booze and sex and run around and have no responsibilities. And I don't know, maybe that's not what people wanted to see. Obviously, I mean, it's the highest rated show, I think, on Paramount Plus, they said. Although Paramount Plus doesn't have that many options at the moment. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what people wanted to see, apparently. I'm in the minority. So, Elizabeth, what was your favorite episode? Mine was the fifth one where Neville came back. He was my favorite villain. I hated that episode. Sorry, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad that was your favorite. That was my least favorite. I thought that had the most problems of the show. I mean, Neville, Carly thought the girl was a robot, and then her dress was all mechanical, and it was all a scheme for Neville to finally marry Carly, and it just felt like it was funny when he was a teen trying to get with Carly, trying to get one kiss from Carly. His whole motivation and the reason why he hated Carly and the iCarly crew in the show is because Carly never gave him a kiss. That's fine when you're a teen and stuff like that, but by the time you're an adult, Neville, come on, grow up, man. Like, I just thought I liked where they were going at first when it was like, oh, we're being invited to Neville's wedding. Like, this is weird. This is a rivalry we had, but now we're being invited. And then it just went off the rails. If I had to pick a favorite episode from season one, oh man, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly, but it's Spencer's throwing a party, and the guy like died doing a seance for Carly or something like that. That was kind of funny. I had some humor in that. I found humor in that I thought was pretty good, and I can't remember the episodes very well. But yeah, that's the one that sticks out in my mind. That's what I remember laughing at the most. And oh, the one where Carly and Freddie went on the girls' trip. I don't think that one was too bad either. Yeah, that one was okay. I enjoyed that one. Josh, are you going to do a Batman movie review? Whenever I get to see it. Actually, that's supposed to come out soon, isn't it? That's coming on HBO Max. So it should be on Crave in Canada. April 19th, I want to say. April-ish. Yeah, like something like that. So when I watch it finally, which is like 3 hours long, and I'm like kind of dreading that. I don't know, like even like The Dark Knight Rises, I think The Dark Knight Rises is like 2 hours and 40 minutes or something like that. That can be a drag sometimes. Like that's a lot of movie. And I don't know how fast paced the Batman's gonna be, but I'm definitely gonna watch it. And when I finally get around to watching it, I will review it if you guys are still interested in talking about it with me because I'm so behind. But that might be changing. Might be going back to the theaters soon. Might be going back to the theaters soon. So keep your eye out for that. All right, Lisbeth. I can respect your opinion. I felt like Neville would. I felt like Neville would have gotten over Carly. Yeah, exactly. Like you like. What's the span? 10 years? Is it 10 years since iCarly? Can't be 10 years. Is it 10 years? It's more than 10 years. When did that? No, that ended in 2012. So now it's been 10 years. So it was 9 years. So like 9 years later, like, yeah, dude, get over it. Seriously, there was no one else. Come on, man. Anyways, Luke, April 19th is when the Batman hits HBO Max. Okay, thank you, Luke. Yeah, so April 19th definitely should be, but it should be on Crave in Canada, and then I can hopefully watch it. Or if it, I'll get the Blu-ray anyways. Okay, so it is already 8 o'clock. Crazy. All right, so I think that does it for our iCarly season. So yeah, bottom line is looking forward to iCarly season 2. Even though I didn't like the first season and I find that kind of weird. So now we move on to April movies. As I said, guys, I can't specify exactly when, just things happening in my town. I'm probably going to be able to go back to the movie theaters this month. Hey! Haven't been to the theaters since like last year. So I thought it'd be fun if we talked about some April movies that we're excited about. Obviously, there's some big ones. The ones that stick out to me right now are Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Everything Everywhere All at Once is coming out, I believe, this weekend. I might get to check those out. I'm really looking forward to Everything Everywhere All at Once. I watched the trailer today again, and it just looks like a crazy, bonkers, exciting time. It looks like so much fun. It looks like it could give Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness a run for its money of being the craziest multiverse movie this year, which I did not think that was going to happen for Doctor Strange. I didn't think he'd have any competition. So that's really cool. The trailer's bonkers, looks fun. It's getting good reviews from what I'm seeing, so I'm really looking forward to that. What's Josh saying? I might go see Sonic. You might be going to see Sonic. Nice, man. I hope you get to see it. I might be going to see it too. I haven't really decided yet. Luke is saying Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is my most anticipated movie of the year, and I'm so hyped to see it. The most anticipated movie of the year. Wow. Are you a big Sonic like I never played the Sonic games. Like I never really knew that much about Sonic when I went to go see the first Sonic movie, and I only went to go see that first Sonic movie because Jim Carrey was in it, and I'm a big Jim Carrey fan. So I was really looking forward to seeing him back in a comedic role, and I thought he stole the movie. But I went in for Jim Carrey, but I stayed for Sonic, man. It was fun. I really enjoyed that character. I thought him and the actor James Marsden, I think is his name, they had great chemistry. So yeah, when I was going in to see the first Sonic, I was not anticipating to be looking forward to a Sonic 2. But I enjoyed that movie so much that I'm actually looking forward to checking out Sonic 2. Although I'm hearing it's more based for at least what I've read online in reviews and stuff, that it's more for video game people, the ones that grew up with the game, which I am not one of, unfortunately. So I only know about the movie. So I'm afraid of it being a little bit too inside baseball, not understanding everything. But I am still looking forward to checking it out. And I'm glad that you're going to get to see it soon, man. It's your most anticipated of the year, so you're going to have a good weekend this weekend. Hopefully you like it. Luke, The Bad Guys is another one I'm looking forward to this month. The Bad Guys. Is that animated one with the animals? They're animals, right? I saw that briefly, like a commercial or an ad or something. I don't even know what it is, to be honest. I don't know what The Bad Guys is. Let me know, Luke. Is it that animated movie? I believe it is. But yeah, I don't really know what that one is. Obviously, other titles we just had Morbius this past weekend come out, which, moving on, I guess. It didn't sound like it was very good. People haven't expressed very positive thoughts on it at the very least, so that's too bad. There was another movie. Sorry, I have a Movie Insider on this side of the screen right now that I'm looking through for the movie that I thought was kind of cool. It was Midnight. This is a movie, comes out April 5th. Oh, it comes out tomorrow. Oh, okay. I didn't realize it came out tomorrow. But this sounds cool. It's called Midnight, and the synopsis I have here is fear grips the country of South Korea as a serial killer stalks its residents. A deaf woman is out late with her mother when she stumbles upon a young woman bleeding out in a dark alley. Now a witness to the killer's brutal crime, she is being ruthlessly hunted down. Will she survive or become his victim? That sounds like that could be a really fun thriller. Hey, Brock Upside. I don't know. Can I call you Brock Ups? Is that okay? I don't know. What up, pimps? Hey. I think you're the first person to ever call me a pimp in my life. Well, it's plural, so all of us. So I'm not the only one. But hey, man, welcome. Thank you for joining the stream. Welcome to the conversation, man. Glad to have you here. Brock Upside. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, check out Brock Upside. He does great Blu-ray reviews, talking about what's in the movie. He does a great display of the case itself. He will make you want to buy the Blu-ray. Trust me, it's great. And the most epic voice on YouTube. I'm just saying, Brock Upside, you have the most epic voice on YouTube. Brock Up is the proper pronunciation, but you're good. Everyone gets it wrong. Oh no. Brock Up? Have I been saying it wrong all these years? Oh, Brock Up. Wow. Okay. Check out Brock Upside. Thanks for letting me know that, man. Thanks for correcting me. All right, so coming out on April 8th, so pretty soon here too, we got Ambulance, which is the new Michael Bay movie. Two brothers attempting a robbery, steal an ambulance, and I'm pretty sure it's just a big car chase for an hour and a half, hour and 40. Looks like it could be fun. Michael Bay is a director that, I'm not a big fan of the Transformer movies that he did, but I actually like couple of his things. So I think Ambulance could be cool. What was that movie he did on Netflix with Ryan Reynolds? Like Six Underground? Was it called Six Underground? The action in Six Underground, the story and stuff wasn't great, but the action in Six Underground was awesome. I really like Michael Bay's action when it's utilized well. Let's see here. We got Luke saying yes, The Bad Guys is the animated movie. Sam Rockwell, Mr. Wolf, Aquafina. Oh, I liked her in Shang-Chi. Craig Robertson, Anthony Ramos, and Mark Maron. Oh, okay. All right. So that is the one I was thinking about. Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I'm glad you're looking forward to it, man. I might have to check it out. Ferris Bueller. Hey, he's skipping school to be here. Well, I guess it's nighttime, so you're not skipping school. Chuck is going to appear. Chuck is going. Oh, you're talking about iCarly season 2. Chuck. Oh, okay. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, yes. In the trailer, when for some reason they're in court for some reason, probably Spencer probably gets in legal trouble, and they probably try to have people who speak for him, but everyone that comes in to speak for Spencer is probably people who hate him. And I did see that Chuck was on like the witness stand. I actually don't know if that's what the episode's about. That's just my guess from how these shows go. But yeah, Chuck was a fun rivalry that Spencer had throughout the show. So it could be fun seeing him come back. See, they bring these people back that I grew up with. So it's like when I want to ditch the show, I just can't. I just have to come back because they keep bringing these people back, and they bring me back as well. Schofield Studios. If Michael Bay directed it, it's going to be torn apart by critics. Possibly. Yeah, the critics aren't always the nicest to Michael Bay. Which, that's unfortunate for Michael Bay, but everyone has their opinions, and if they don't like it, they don't like it, and that's their right. And if we love it, we love it, and that's our right. And in the end, none of that really matters. Time will tell, Like, there are tons of movies. Bill and Ted Bogus Journey, there's an example. Bill and Ted Bogus Journey is rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. I love the crap out of that movie. I watch it at least 5 times a year. Love it. Love it. I don't care what the critics said about it at the time. Time will tell, and time is told for me for Bogus Journey. So time could tell for all these other movies that are getting rotten. Morbius could be a comic book classic in 10 years or so. Probably not. Michael Bay. Oh, I see. You said Michael Day and you meant Michael Bay. All right, no worries, man. I got you. I got what you meant. Let's see here. Brock up. I look forward to Ambulance to see things go boom. Well, it's directed by Michael Bay, so things are gonna go boom. Yeah, absolutely. Luke, I heard Jake Gyllenhaal took the camera from Michael Bay and filmed a few scenes of Ambulance on his own. Is that true? Did he do that? Is there gonna be like POV shots? Because that's kind of cool. That could be cool. Brock Up is saying, I'm looking forward to iCarly season 2, but I hope it has a secret Gibby cameo. Dude, you and me both. If there's one character that I want to see come back besides Sam for even like just an episode, I want to see Gibby. I want to see Gibby, but I also fear to see Gibby because I don't know what the show would do with Gibby. Like, he liked taking off his shirt in season 1, season 2 when he was a kid. Don't make Gibby a stripper. It's a mature show, so Gibby grew up to be a stripper. Please don't do that. I don't think they'd do that. I hope they wouldn't do that. But it makes me a little worried because this show's maturity, I wouldn't put it past them to do that. But I hope that he just, I don't know, he became like a super cool salesman or something. Like, Gibby's just awesome. I want them to do good by Gibby. All right, we talked about Sonic, Everything Everywhere All at Once we talked about. Fantastic Beasts, that's one. That's a big one, isn't it? Not the Crimes of Grindelwald. I never saw that one. I never saw the second Fantastic Mr. Beast. I saw the first one. It didn't leave much of an impression on me, so I didn't really care. But The Secrets of Dumbledore is coming out, and I saw the trailers for this one. It made me want to watch Crimes of Grindelwald so that I could understand what's going on in this one, because this one looks kind of cool. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. Like, I like the movies, but I recently showed Cassidy, my wife, I recently showed her all the movies, and she adores them. She loves them. She asks to watch them like a couple times every month. So I might be going to see Secrets of Dumbledore with her, but she has to watch Fantastic Beasts movies first. We haven't started those ones yet, but I think That might be one that she'll want to go check out. Let's see what else we got. We got Luke. Luke is saying Michael Bay is a more competent director than Roland Emmerich. Okay. Roland Emmerich gets a lot of crap for making the same movie over and over again. But doesn't he get a pass for making Independence Day? He made Independence Day, right? If I got that wrong, then everything I'm saying doesn't make any sense. But I'm pretty sure he did Independence Day. And Independence Day is awesome. And back in the day when it came out, before I was alive, I think, it was a revolutionary film. So I don't know if I could say that he's not a competent director. He definitely has talent if he's able to make that kind of film. But yeah, the last Roland Emmerich movie that I can remember seeing that I at least knew was his was 2012, and that had some cool action, but not a great movie overall. I saw Morbius. Oh, Elizabeth, I saw Morbius yesterday, and it was a disaster. Yep, that seems to be the narrative going around for Morbius. I feel so bad for this movie. It's making money though. I saw on Saturday or something, I saw a bunch of these pictures on Twitter of people being like, I got a Morbius private screening, and their theaters were just empty. They were the only ones in there. And I was like, are the only people going to see this movie those who want to review it online or have a podcast? This movie's going to bomb. But it came out recently that it made 40 million over the weekend domestically, and it made 90 million or 80 million worldwide on a $75 million budget. So if it makes it to 150 million, which I think it's reasonable at this point, it's going to break even. It's going to make money. So I'm happy for everyone involved in making it, the people that worked hard on it, but kind of sucks that it came out to be a crummy movie in a lot of people's eyes. Obviously, I don't have an opinion yet. I haven't seen it. Schofield, are you going to watch Morbius? I personally liked it. Oh, you liked it. And there has been a lot of good reviews lately. Okay, I haven't seen the good reviews lately, but you liked it. You're the first person I think that I know, I've read, has liked it. So that's awesome, man. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and maybe I could like it. I don't know. Speaking of Brock Up, who's up next, his review of Morbius cracked me up. If you haven't checked out Brock Up's side's review of Morbius, I thought it was hysterical. I just your delivery, man, and just the way that you edited it together, and I loved it. I thought it was great, man. But Brock Up, I'm gonna have to get used to that. Says, will you be picking up Spider-Man No Way Home on 4K next week, or will you have to convince your talking wallet first? Oh my goodness, the talking wallet. That is bringing me back. Oh man. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, and yes, I will be picking up Spider-Man No Way Home next week. So excited. I already have it on digital, but there's just nothing like having that physical in your hand. When I started this channel early on, I did these things called Blu-ray pickups because I was single and had a lot of money to myself, and I could just spend days going around and just buying Blu-rays and collecting any ones that I wanted. And I came up with this bit with my wallet. I called him Walleter, and I would have conversations with him, and the whole bit was he was upset that I was spending the money, and he was just like this grumpy persona and stuff like that. And I remember how I would shoot that is I would hold my fingers in the corner and make it talk and make sure that my fingers were out of the shot, and then I would turn it on me and talk, and then I'd stitch it together to make it look like a conversation. And I remember I did that in my room, and I'm 20 years old at the time. And my mom comes in the door, and I'm bent over on the couch, flapping my wallet and filming it and doing this voice like, hey, we don't need any more movies. And my mom just walked in, looked at me with sheer disappointment, and walked out of the room. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'll never say never. You might see Walleter again. He'll have an update. He'll have a facelift, but man, dude, the fact that you just brought that up made my night. That's crazy. Thanks, Brock Up. That's awesome. Luke, Moonfall was Emmerich's latest movie. I didn't see it, and I don't really have any intentions to. Yeah, that movie didn't even come to Canada. in theater. I mean, I couldn't see it in theaters anyways. But that movie didn't even get distributed in my country, let alone my province, let alone my town. It didn't even make it into the country. So I'm gonna have to wait till I hit streaming to even have a chance to watch it. But I'm like you, man. I don't really have any intentions to. Schofield Studios. It has a 70% from audience on Rotten Tomatoes. That's okay. So the general audience seems to really be enjoying it. That's good. Okay. I don't always line up with the audience. Sometimes I do, but gives me hope. That gives me some hope that it could be good. But that's the thing is that like I'm not really even into the Venom movies. Like that's one of the reasons I wasn't really that excited for Morbius is like the first Venom movie I don't like. And I was gonna do reviews on them, and I might still do it, but I'll just talk right here. I don't really like the first Venom movie. The second one, I bought into the absurdity, and I just was like, okay, this is a goofy comedy thing. I'm just gonna buy into it. But I actually ended up really liking Woody Harrelson's performance. I liked him as the villain. He was a much better villain, big improvement over the villain from Venom 1. And they didn't really have much to do with Eddie and Venom. They just kind of were like fighting, and then they broke up, and Venom went to a rave, and Eddie sulked until it was time to fight Carnage in the end. So it wasn't like a great movie, but it was an improvement over the first one for me. But I'm just not really into that universe. That's one of the reasons I'm so glad that Venom was just like, hey, I'm in the MCU. Whoa, where am I going? And he just left again. I don't want these movies tied to the MCU. I feel like they put a taint, a stain on the MCU, in my opinion. So I don't really like that. I have heard about the post-credit scene of Morbius though, so that only further adds to my fear of all of this. But anyways, moving on. Elizabeth, I am glad that some people like Morbius, but I was so hyped, and I thought that after waiting 2 years, it would be worth it, but it was not for me. Oh man, I feel so bad for the people who were so excited because this movie was supposed to come out in 2019, 2020. It's been like 2 or 3 years that people were waiting for this movie as it's been delayed. And the trailers, the only reason I was even thinking of going to see Morbius is because of the trailers. And they had the Oscorp Tower, and they had the Raimi Spider-Man, and they had all this Spider-Man stuff. And I wanted to see, okay, what are they doing exactly? How does it fit in? And then I found out like a week before the movie came out, which is like the worst time to ever tell people this, that they removed all of that stuff that was in the trailer from the movie. Like my interest in the movie just went, like it just flatlined as soon as I heard that. I just didn't care anymore. But that sucks. I'm so sorry that you waited the excitement for that movie, and it just wasn't. I could not imagine if that happened with No Way Home. Like I was juicing for that movie for so like a year and a half, 2 years. And if that had disappointed me, man, that would have been a bummer. I'm sorry that happened with Morbius with you. Schofield, I thought I was going to see a cinematic dumpster fire with no redeeming qualities, but when I watched it, it was fine. If you are going to watch it, put your expectations at the lowest possible. They are at the lowest possible. I don't know if they could get any lower. I don't know. Like, I don't know what Morbius needs to be in order for me to like it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know much about the character, but like the trailers, they just looked kind of dreary and bland and not that interesting. I think every single shot in the trailer takes place in a gray setting. Like, is there any splash of color in that movie? For those who have seen it, are there any colors at all? Oh, we got the wife in here. We got Cassidy. What she's saying, he can get whatever Blu-rays he wants. Oh, that's love. that is love. That is love. Oh, I'm gonna put her in the spotlight because she deserves it tonight. As I mentioned, I may be able to go back to the theaters soon. I was talking with her and I was like, I'm gonna pick and choose which movie to watch. And she turns to me and she just says, I know that you've been waiting for this. This is important. You can watch all the movies that you want to watch over the weekend if we're able to go. And I was just like, oh my goodness, am I loved? Oh my goodness, is she awesome? Oh, I love you, honey. All right, moving on. You got Luke. My brother tried telling me that Morbius was fine, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. That was terrible. I mean, it's funny to say that kind of stuff, but in the end, we all have our own opinions. We all have our own perspectives. That's what I find really cool about movies, especially ones that are divisive, is I can go into a movie with someone we could watch the same images on the screen. We can see the exact same movie and walk out feeling completely different, having different opinions and different perceptions of what the movie was based on, you know, how we grew up, our background, anything like that. It's just so fascinating to talk to someone. That's why I love talking about movies, is because everyone brings different perspectives and opinions to them, and it just reveals character of who they are. So it's unfortunate that you didn't like the movie and your bro liked it, and that's probably frustrating. But you know what? At least he had a good time. You can at least be a little happy for him, right? All right, Brock. Brock. Really making sure I say that right now. Oh, whoops, lost him. I felt like the Morbius trailer was holding me hostage for. Oh, I lost you. Where'd you go? For two. Oh, holding me hostage for 2 years because every movie played that darn trailer. Oh, that's one of the things you said in your review that really made me funny. Really made me funny. Oh my goodness, this is why it's scary doing things live. Really made me laugh. That's awesome, man. Oh man, I'm sorry you had to suffer through that. Lisbeth, the final fight of Venom 1 was so messy with the symbiotes. Yes. That I didn't even understand what was going on. Yes. Oh my goodness. This also goes back to what I was just saying. I saw this movie with a friend of mine. Me and my friend, actually, me and two of my friends went to go see this movie and we watched it. And I remember I was watching the scene and I was like, I was watching the scene with the symbiotes fighting or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so messy. This is awful. This looks ugly. I do not like this. I can't even like see what's going on and I don't care about anybody. And my friend leans over to me and he goes, this is so awesome. They really did a great job with this. And I was like, I don't see what you're seeing right now on the screen. I just see messy gray blobs, but I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. But I did not. I'm with you on that, Lisbeth. I did not. Uh, no, just black and gray. Really? Throughout the whole movie, just black and gray. Oh my goodness. Okay, Morbius. Okay. But he says, but so is the Batman 2022. Yeah, okay, that's fair. But I guess it also comes down to cinematography. How was it captured? How did they display it onto the screen? Like, Batman looked, from the trailers, looked gorgeous. Like, the way that the cinematography and everything just looked really nice. The Morbius trailer looked bland and flat and just kind of, like, dull to me. And they were both, for the most part, gray, but the Batman just had a better look to it. So I guess all that goes into play to it too. Elizabeth, now that is true love right there, isn't it? Isn't she the best? Oh, so nice. I love you, honey. Josh, I just watched the credit scene and oh no. Yeah, man, that credit scene is all over the internet. I just decided, you know what the heck, I'm just gonna watch it, and I'm just like, what are they doing? Like, like I said, they're trying to squeeze their way into the MCU. They're like, we're a part of it too. Like, look at us. Like, include us in your marathon. And I'm just like, no, I'll never include you in my marathon. You're staying. Stay away. I just don't want you. Okay, Luke. There were times during Morbius where I wanted to fall asleep. Not a joke. Oh, that's rough. Isn't the movie like only like an hour and 40 minutes and you wanted to fall asleep? That's not a good sign for the movie. Oh man. Do I still have the April movies banner on? I do too. You know what? We're take that off because we're kind of past that segment now. You know what? What the heck? We'll just leave it. We'll just get through these comments. Yeah, that's for a short movie. If you wanted to fall asleep, that's rough, man. That's rough. All right, Josh. The post-credit scene is the only part that deserves the savage reviews. You know what's interesting is before I even saw the post-credit scene, there was like early screenings. I think it was a fan event in the UK or something, and everyone was on Twitter like the post-credit scenes are the worst ever. The post-credit scenes are like the worst part of the movie, and I was like, how bad are these post-credit scenes gonna be? And I watched them, and I was like, yeah, they're pretty bad, but I don't know if I'd say they're like as far as like what they do. Yeah, they're probably the worst ever. But like in the way of being shot, like Captain America coming out at the end of Spider-Man: Homecoming and talking about patience. I almost think that annoyed me just a little bit more than these post-credit scenes probably would have. Brock up. It's weird. I think Venom 2 has the exact same problems as the first, but I actually liked Venom 2 way more. Maybe it's just me accepting it more. Plus, I love a good "we are going to die" line delivery. That was pretty funny. I agree with you, though. I think what it comes down to is I just knew what I was to expect this time around, and I just let myself accept it more. And I think the villain helped tremendously. Like, was he written the best? Was he executed the best? Heck no. I don't even think like like the character of Carnage was done as well as it could have been. I think they could have done it way better. But for what we got, it wasn't awful. And Woody Harrelson was so entertaining and so good. Like he was a way better villain than the first one. And I think that's what really put it over the top for me. Lisbeth. Ever since Spider-Man Homecoming, the post-credit scene, I've been wondering what happened to Scorpion because it's about to be 5 years. Scorpion. Oh, yeah, that guy in the prison with the Scorpion tattoo. I never really thought much about that. But yeah, you're kind of right. Whatever. I guess they just didn't really want to do anything with that. Well, sorry. The thing about Spider-Man Homecoming too is that that's Sony's movie technically that they do with Marvel. They put it into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but those are Sony movies. So Sony might have included that post-credit scene. They might have had plans to do a Scorpion movie. Maybe they still do. I doubt it, but yeah, I don't know why that didn't go anywhere. But I don't know. Don't lose sleep over it. All right, Luke. The film just tried to take itself too seriously, and for a movie like that with 2000s comic book movie visuals, that's a sign that tells you I wanted to fall asleep. 2000s comic book movie visuals. Ouch. Ouch. I mean, some of the 2000s looks pretty good. The Spider-Man movies, I think, hold up in the CGI, but I don't think you mean that in a good way. Elizabeth, I respect that Sony is trying to do something with the Spider-Man villains, but they are not doing a good job. Yeah, that's the thing about this universe is that, and I'll give Sony credit, it was ambitious to try to do a universe of villains where the villains are going to be our protagonists that we follow. But man, that is tricky to do. And I don't know how you can make some of the villains, like I could see how they could do it with Kraven the Hunter, but like, I don't know, like if they ever like wanted to do like I don't even know, like a Rhino movie or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know how you get these guys together. Like, are they just going to do a Suicide Squad type thing where they fight just a bigger evil? Because that's been done so many times, it's kind of boring. And I just don't really have faith in Sony to pull this together. Like, the MCU has earned my trust and my faith because they've just pulled through so many times. Whereas Sony, I think, still, like, they're not out of the woods yet. Like, they still have to prove to me that they're, I don't want to say a competent studio, but they can at least make these good and make these work. And so far, they haven't. They haven't since The Amazing Spider-Man 2, in my opinion. Braca, at least we still have Across the Spider-Verse Part 2 to look forward to. Yeah. I mean, I have big faith in that one, just from the filmmakers that are involved with it, coming back from the first one. The trailers looked awesome. I really enjoyed. I'm not as in love with the movie as a lot of other people are. Like a lot of people say it's the best Spider-Man movie to date. It's the best Spider-Man movie ever made, and they love it. And I really like it. I really like it, but I don't love it like some people do. But I'm really looking forward to Part 2 and seeing what they do with it. Luke. Oh, what's Luke saying? I enjoy both Venom movies, but I think Sony just doesn't trust their directors to give their true vision on the character, especially with Morbius. I mean, yeah, it's hard to argue with that. I mean, from the sounds of it, they really meddled with Morbius. Like they just, I think the director came out recently and said that a lot of the decisions that were made in the movie weren't his, and taking the Spider-Man stuff out. I think he even said that the mural of Tobey's Spider-Man that was in the trailer that said murderer across it wasn't even his idea. Like he didn't put it there. Like did Sony put it there? Did they try to manipulate us? I don't know. But Sony does seem to like to meddle a lot with the movies, and I think we're seeing that with Morbius. But like I haven't seen it, so I can't say for sure. But that's what it sounds like. Elizabeth, I'd rather watch Turning Red than Morbius, and that's something I never thought I would say. Whoa, okay, so you really didn't like Turning Red. Dang. I liked Turning. I thought it was fine. Like I enjoyed it while I was watching it. I wouldn't necessarily want to watch it again anytime soon or anything, but wow, you'd rather. That's rough. That's rough. I mean, to each its own, right? If it didn't work for you, it didn't work for you. I know a lot of people that actually didn't like Turning Red, even less than I did. Schofield, Across the Spider-Verse is the only reason Sony still makes money. Well, they still have their video games. I think their video games is a big thing, but they have their movie department. Well, their movies don't do awful in the box office. Jumanji made a lot of money. Uh, what else made a lot of money from Sony? Uncharted did pretty well recently, I think. Um, it's hard to tell because to really get a good box office number, you got to go back like 3 or 4 years, and I can't remember that. Who has time for that? The Brock up. Oh, bro, I'll die for Spider-Verse, but to each their own. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, you really love it. You will die for Spider-Verse, but to each their own. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't die for it. I'd get pinched for it. if that's any consolation, I'd take like a tiny amount of pain for it, but I wouldn't go that drastically far. But I like I said, I like Spider-Verse. Like I put it on a couple months ago and I had a really great time with it, and I gotta show it to Cass soon. Cassidy's got to watch that soon. Luke, I wish Turning Red came out in theaters instead of Morbius. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if Morbius was on streaming for free, I probably would have watched it just because it was there. Like that's what I did for Turning Red. Like it was there, so I watched it. And I probably would have gone to theaters for Turning Red if I could have. But yeah, I think that would have probably had people leaving the theater a little bit happier than Morbius did. All right, Luke. Uncharted was more fun than I anticipated. That's great, man. I haven't really looked at too much at Uncharted because I'm not a big video game player. I don't really play video games. Actually, I just don't play video games. So I've never played Uncharted, and so I know nothing about it. So I wasn't really caring too much about missing that one. So I didn't really look too much into it. But you had fun, so that's good, man. I might have to check it out if you had fun. Question from Schofield Studios: Sony versus Blue Sky Studios. Probably Sony because Blue Sky's dead. It might be a little soon. Blue Sky is the one that Disney eliminated, right? Like they just axed it. Yeah, I don't know. Blue Sky Studios had Ice Age, and I liked the first 4 Ice Age movies. What else did Blue Sky have? Did they do robots? I can't even remember. Blue Sky. I don't even remember what Blue Sky did. I wonder if I can look that up real quick. Blue Sky Studios. What do they got? I don't even remember what they do. Filmography. Okay, so let's see here. They did Ice Age, I liked. Robots, I liked. Ice Age Meltdown, probably my favorite of the movies. Dr. Seuss Horton Hears a Who. I like Dr. Seuss Horton Hears a Who. It might be nostalgic because I saw that in theaters when it came out, but I liked it. Dawn of the Dinosaurs, I liked. Rio was okay. Continental Drift, that's the one with the pirates. I did like that. I never saw Epic. Rio 2, I didn't even finish. The Peanuts movie was cute. Ice Age Collision Course was awful. Never saw Ferdinand, and Spies in Disguise never saw. Okay, so Blue Sky has a pretty decent track record with me, whereas Sony has a lot more movies. But I don't know. It's apples and oranges. It's hard to compare them. But yeah, thanks for the question, man. Brock up. I'm afraid I'm gonna be foolish enough to get Morbius on 4K because that steelbook is so unfathomably sexy. And you know what? When you get it on 4K, I will gladly watch your video reviewing it. Tell me what's inside it, and so that I can marvel at the fathomably sexy case without having to go out to buy it. So that's why I appreciate you, Brock up. All right, what we got here? We got Lisbeth. My problem with Turning Red was that it talks about womanhood and puberty and periods. Yeah, I talked to someone that I know, a teenage girl, and I asked her how she liked it, if she liked that they were addressing that stuff and stuff, and she hated it. She's like, no, I hated it. I hated that they did that. So I obviously don't have this perception, but I guess women aren't really interested in watching a movie that deals with that stuff. At least not an animated movie, or at least some, like, obviously some women loved it. It's not a universal thing. Moving on, you know what I mean. It at least didn't work for you, and that's okay. Lisbeth, my problem with Turning Red was that, oh, whoops, I already did that one. Schofield, Turning Red was just a weird movie for Pixar to make. I couldn't get through the 15-minute mark. Okay, I can't blame you for that. those girls were kind of obnoxious in the beginning. I wasn't sure if I was going to want to finish the movie either when those girls came on. But as it kept going, I liked it just a little bit more. I thought they were more endearing, kind of fun and funny. I just thought the story was just kind of like, I don't know, it was weird. She wanted to go see a boy band, and I thought the stuff like the mythology of the panda and the rituals and stuff like that was kind of cool, and I liked that the panda was cute and stuff. But yeah, it's not a Pixar movie that I would watch very often, just personally. Oh my goodness, it's 8:40. Okay, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to 9 o'clock. Okay, we'll do another 20 minutes or so, and then I didn't. Wow, this has been so much fun. I haven't realized how late it got. Oh my goodness. They did Robots in Rio. Yep. We just looked at that, and I liked both of those movies. I haven't seen them in a while though, but I remember liking both of those movies. Luke, I saw Uncharted with my mom, and she liked it too, but she doesn't know anything about the Uncharted. Well, that's good because I don't know anything about the Uncharted. So if she liked it, I could like it too. And it's got Tom Holland, and I like Tom Holland. So I'll probably check it out once it hits streaming or something. That's not a movie I think I would buy. Sometimes, especially when I was single, I would just go to the store, and if a new movie came out, even if I hadn't seen it but it looked interesting, I would just buy it, even if it was like new and it was like $25 or something. I used to spend a crazy amount of money on Blu-rays, and that's one of the things too about the Blu-ray pickups is it kind of got to a point where I was like, until a new movie that I like comes out, like I have a lot of Blu-rays. Like I don't know what else to buy. Like all the movies that I want, I kind of have at the moment. So, I don't know where I was going with that, but there you go. But Uncharted, yeah, I'll probably check it out, but I probably won't buy it to check it out. Elizabeth, I like the Ice Age series, and Spies in Disguise was a fun movie. Yeah, Spies in Disguise was a movie I remember seeing the trailer for in theaters, and then it just kind of like, I don't know, blew past me. Like I was like, oh, Spies in Disguise is Spies in Disguise. Spies in Disguise is coming out. Oh, there it goes. It's gone. Like I missed it. Oh well. I just haven't really bothered to seek it out. But I'm glad you had fun with it, and I might check it out one day, hopefully. The Brock Upside. Luke Ponto. Oh, it's fun to Luke. Uncharted keeps growing on me. I pre-ordered the Steelbook, which comes with a replica ring. I don't know what the replica ring is, but I bet that's pretty cool. Good on you, man. Can't wait to see that video. Luke, Spies in Disguise was a lot of fun. Tom Holland and Will Smith have great chemistry. Oh, it's Will Smith. Okay, Tom Holland and Will. I thought it was Tom Holland and Chris Pratt. No, that's Onward. That's what I'm thinking of. Tom Holland and Chris Pratt and Onward. Tom Holland and Will Smith have great chemistry. All right, cool. That's awesome. I mean, I might have to check that. That's like he turns into a bird or something, right? I remember that from the trailer. Oh, Brock Upside. Thanks, man. I think that's directed at me. You're welcome, dude. I think that's directed at me for saying I watched your video. Lisbeth, I heard that there was a deleted scene with Tobey and Green Goblin in No Way Home. I heard that too. I saw that on Twitter. And I was just kind of like, okay, remember what we got. Remember how good No Way Home was. Don't get too mad at them for deleting that. But how could you delete that? That's the one thing. Not the one thing, but that's one of the things of No Way Home. Excuse me. That I thought was a missed opportunity was we never really saw Tobey interact with Norman. I mean, the last time he saw the guy was like 20 years ago, and he got impaled through the wall with a glider, like he died. And we never got to see Tobey be like, oh, Norman, hey, by the way, like your son Harry, he saved my life. Like you'd be so proud of him or something like that. Like we never got to see them interact. And even to the point where Tom Holland was going to kill him, and Tobey Maguire is right there, stops Tom Holland. He's literally right beside Willem Dafoe. They are like almost cheek to cheek, and he doesn't say a word to him. And but I like that we got to see with Doc Ock, with Dr. Octavius, and that was a nice reunion. But yeah, that deleted fight scene with Tobey and Green Goblin, I really hope that they have that on the Blu-ray, and I hope it's completed with all the visual effects. I want to see that. But Spider-Man No Way Home was awesome. I'm not going to hold it against them that they deleted it. Could have been really cool. Brock Upside. It occurs to me that we never, ever had a collab. We must change that. Yes, I would love to do a collab with you, man. I don't know how. I mean, I guess I know how. Like, I guess I'm just like trying to get comfortable doing live streams on my own with you guys before I bring in a guest, because that's a whole different area for me. I've never like hosted. I've never like had to like steer the conversation, and as you've noticed, I go on tangents a lot. So I would love to have you on. I'd love to have a lot of people on here. I just have to get comfortable, a little bit more comfortable with myself on here before I invite people on. But I definitely want to do a collab with you. We gotta think of something. I mean, we got maybe something to do with the Spider-Man No Way Home Blu-ray. I don't know. Maybe we could do something like that. I have you on Twitter. Hit me up. DM me. We got to think of some ideas and get something going because I would love to collab with you, man. And I'm so honored that you'd love to collab with me. Like, that always blows my mind when people ask if they can collab with me. It's only happened a couple times, but still, it's like I'm just sitting in my YouTube room, my spare bedroom at home, and someone I don't even know across the world wants to collab with me. That's awesome, and thank you. I really appreciate that. Schofield Studios. Tom Holland plays Tom Holland, and Mark Wahlberg plays Mark Wahlberg. That's the best way to sum up Uncharted. Yikes. I mean, I like both those guys, so it could still be fun. I guess they just don't really embody the characters that you played in the video games, I think is what you're probably saying, which unfortunate. Sorry, man. That sucks. But some people liked it, so it just didn't work for you. Maya. Blue Sky is the studio that was obsessed with bird movies. Oh my goodness. That's a really good observation. They are, aren't they? I have their filmography still up here, and yeah, so many things to do with birds. Rio was a bird. Epic on the cover, I think it had a bird, so that might be a bird. Rio 2 was a bird. Spies in the Skies had a bird. I mean, there's birds in Ice Age and Dr. Seuss. I don't know if I'd say they're obsessed with that, but that's kind of funny. I like that. All right, let's see here. Lisbeth. I also heard that the actor that plays Ned won't come back, and I teared up. I haven't heard that anywhere. I kind of like. I wouldn't expect to see him in like the next installment, but I think he'll be back. I think what would be really cool that I could see them doing, because allegedly they already have another trilogy planned with Tom Holland, but like that's kind of like he said, she said, because Sony says they have it planned and they technically have the rights to do that, but the MCU hasn't really said that they. I don't know. Anyways, the last time I checked, that was the case. So they could do a trilogy with just Tom Holland, loosely connected to the MCU, but really just have it be its standalone. And I think it'd be kind of cool if in the next trilogy, Tom Holland is an adult. He's working at the Daily Bugle. He's doing freelancing. He's doing the classic Spider-Man stuff. And in like the second or third movie of the trilogy, he runs into Ned, maybe even MJ, as adults now. And it's like, you just see where they're at. I think that'd be a cool way of doing it. You know, like you give them some space, you give us time to kind of miss them or get used to Spider-Man without them, and then you bring them back for like a hard nostalgic punch near the end of the trilogy. But you know what? That could be a crappy idea, and that's why I don't work in the studio business. But I think it'd be kind of fun. I hope we see him back anyways at some point. Him and Zendaya, I hope we see back. Luke. Oh, whoops, I jumped. Watching Morbius made me wish Sonic 2 came out already. Yeah, man, just no love for Oh, that one guy liked it, but no love for Morbius in here, huh? Well, you know what? You don't have to wait much longer because Sonic 2 is coming out this weekend, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's coming out this weekend. So you're going to get to see your most anticipated movie soon, bro. And that's awesome. Did you hear that? That bro had a little bit of a W in it? So annoying. Imagine Schofield. Imagine a Jim Carrey movie and Jared Leto movie in the same theater. That would be a weird contrast. Well, you know what? We're about to get that. We're about to get that this weekend. Jim Carrey, man, I love Jim Carrey. You guys hear he's retiring? You know what? He's earned it. Like, he's given us so many great comedy performances that I have loved and will continue to love for a very, very long time. If he wants to retire, and that's good. That's good with me. He's earned it. But I will miss him. Lisbeth, I was able to get an early screening for Sonic 2, and it was amazing. Well, that's great news, I'm sure, for Luke. And I like hearing that too. I want it to be a good movie. I want to have a good time. I want to have fun. But that's got to be reassuring for Luke. So that's awesome. I'm glad excuse me. I'm glad you had a great time, and thanks for sharing your thoughts. We're all excited for it. Oh, Brockup, is that Drax behind you there? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, there he is. This is probably the coolest thing about my room. It's kind of you got a glare, but my wife got this case for me. I found these figures. I can't remember what they're called. I found them at this like toy store, so to speak, or collectibles shop in Vancouver, and I just really love the detail on them. This one is my favorite. It is Iron Spider. See if I can get that up there. I just thought the detail on these were really, really good, and I just love the way they look. And they were really cheap too. They were like only like $50 or so. And so I got my Iron Spider there, and I love this Thanos as well. I don't know when this became me showing off my figurines, but I hope you guys are okay with this. This is my Thanos, which I mean, like, for a $50 little statue, like I think the detail that they put into this thing is actually really, really good. I got Ebony Maw back there as well, and then yeah, this is Drax. He and Groot come on one, and I got the rest of the Guardians here. Gamora's pointing at you because she had a sword, but I lost it in the move, which is unfortunate. But she's got Rocket there with Gamora, and I really love the way they have Star-Lord. It's from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, so he's blasting off of the platform that we see at the beginning of the movie. And yeah, like I can't remember what these are called exactly. You can find them on Amazon, I'm sure. But yeah, they're just really beautifully detailed, and for a really, really good price. So, and my wife got me this nice case for my birthday to put them in. So yeah, there's that little segment for you. Hope you guys didn't mind that. I just yeah, I'm kind of proud of those. I think they look really good, and I love the case that they're in. Thanks for let me put that out, man. Let's see here, Luke. It's cold in here. Let's turn up the heat. It's cold in here. Let's turn up the heat. I'm not getting the reference. I'm sorry, man. If you could elaborate, that'd be nice. But I'm sorry. I'm not quite. It's cold in here. Let's turn up the heat. I'm not quite sure what you're referring to. All right, Schofield. If Jim Carrey is retired, what will happen to Sonic 3? He's the only reason I watch the Sonic movies. That's a question I have too. Well, the thing about his statement also, at least I don't think it was. I don't think he said that he's retiring immediately after Sonic 2. Actually, no, wait. Maybe he did. Maybe that's what it was all about. After Sonic 2, he's going to retire. But he could come back for Sonic 3, right? Like, or maybe are there other villains in the Sonic? There's got to be other villains in Sonic's, like, rogue gallery, right? Like, maybe they just bring in a new villain. We also don't know how this movie ends. Maybe Robotnik ends in a satisfying way. Who knows? Maybe they write him out. Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, Goldie Legs. Cassidy calls my Iron Spider Goldie Legs, which annoyed me when she first started doing it. And then when we were moving, I think it was when we were moving, I said, "Oh, where do you think I should put Goldie Legs?" And now it's just kind of stuck. Now I'm just kind of like, crap. I gave her what she needed to. I gave her the ammo. I can hear her laughing in the other room too. She's on here. Rock up. Nice. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, it's funny when I say thanks. Like, hey, I'm really proud of these. Like, I did nothing to like contribute to these except that I gave someone money and they let me take it home. So, like, I didn't sculpt it. But thank you. I'm glad you like my figurines back there. I think they give the room a nice atmosphere. All right. Luke. No one will ever play Dr. Robotnik as good as Jim Carrey. Yeah, like I said, I didn't really play the video game, so I don't even know how accurate Jim Carrey's performance to Dr. Robotnik is. But I will say that no one will play it like Jim Carrey because Jim Carrey is one of a kind. He can play the character only as Jim Carrey can. And if they get someone to replace him or they recast the role, they will play it how they play it. And I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't imagine it being as good as Jim Carrey, but it'll be fine. All right, let's see. Elizabeth, what is your favorite Spider-Man suit? I know everyone is going to bully me, but I loved Andrew Garfield's main suit from the first The Amazing Spider-Man. It's just different and unique. I agree with you. It is different and unique. I liked that they tried to do something different. They tried it to be like, oh, it needs to look like how a teenager would actually make it. And I don't think it looks awful. It definitely works for that movie, especially how dark that movie is and the color grading and stuff like that. But I absolutely adore and love the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. the upgrade that they gave him in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, that is still to this day my favorite Spider-Man suit. I think it has a lot to do with Andrew Garfield's physique as well. Like he's slim but toned, like how I remember Spider-Man in the comics is. The suit is nice and slick. And I promise this is not just going to become about me idolizing Andrew Garfield's body. But I love like the eyepieces, like they're so big and wide, and it just on the screen it's just so visually pleasing. It's still my favorite Spider-Man suit, and I'm so happy that that's the suit that he came in No Way Home. I was a little bit worried that it was going to be the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit, and they were going to pull Tobey and Andrew from their movies, like the way like the Lizard's there. They were going to get Andrew Garfield from the Amazing Spider-Man 1, so he'd be in that suit, and Tobey would be from Spider-Man 2, and they de-aged them and stuff. I'm so glad that they kept them the age that they are, and I'm so glad he came back in that suit. It was perfect. All right, Luke. That's a quote said by Dr. Robotnik from Sonic 2. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't really watched too many Sonic 2 trailers or promotional. Like, I watched them when they came out, but I haven't gone back, so they're not really in my head. But thanks for sharing that quote, man. It's cold in here. Let's turn up the heat. All right, yeah, I could see Jim Carrey saying that. I can see him saying that. Brock Upside. I think I have a Charlie Cox Daredevil figurine from the same line. Really? That must look great. Ooh, I don't know if you do like figurine show-offs. I don't know if you have enough to do that on your channel. But if you can somehow maybe even like DM me a picture, I would really like to see that Charlie Cox Daredevil. I think that would look really cool. Josh, I remember you buying them. Yep, you were there with me, man. You were there with me. Lisbeth. Well, Zach, I had fun, but I gotta go to bed. Good night. Oh, well, good night, Liz. Good night. Have a good night. And yeah, actually, it is now 8:57, and my throat is getting there. So I think this was great, and I think this is a good time to go. So, oh, there we go, Schofield. All right, I'm gonna go. Yeah, everyone's starting to head. Everyone's starting to head out, so I think it's time to head out too. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this stream. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed talking with all of you. Goodbye, Josh. Thanks again for all the new subscribers that are here. Getting me to, I think I'm at the 900 mark. If I'm not, I'm like very, very close. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for joining the community. And just thank you for all the kind words and questions and messages that you guys gave in today. Yeah, so until next time, guys. Oh, there's Luke. Thanks for a fun stream, Zach. It was awesome. Thanks for being here, Luke. Really appreciate you joining me. And you joined me for a lot of these streams. So thank you so much for always showing up, man. All right, guys. I will say good night, and we'll talk again very soon. Bye.